Hi, this is Calandra. In this video, we'll cover how to find the point-slope form of the equation of a line. The point-slope form of a line with slope m that passes through the point x sub 1, y sub 1 is, well, you start off with your variable y and you subtract from it your y coordinate that we're denoting with a subscript is equal to the slope m times our variable x minus, and then you substitute in your x coordinate, x sub 1. Now if you divide both sides of this equation by what we have in parentheses, the x minus x sub 1, notice that you come up with something that looks like our slope formula, the change in y divided by the change in x. So this is the point-slope form of an equation where you're only substituting in values for m, and then your x1, comma y1 is a point on your line that you're given. So in this example, find the equations of the lines described, give your answers in point-slope form. So we're starting off with a line that has a slope of -2, and it passes through the point -5, 6. So m represents our slope, and that's -2. -5 would be our x sub 1. 6 would be our y sub 1. So now we just plug it into our formula. So we have y minus y sub 1, which is 6, is equal to our slope, which is -2, times the quantity x minus x sub 1, which is -5. So now I just need to simplify what I have in parentheses. So we have y minus 6 is equal to -2 times the quantity x plus 5. And that would be our answer in point-slope form. Okay, going on to part B. We have our slope of 0, and we're told that it passes through the point -4, 8. So that's my x1 and my y1. Now you might remember that if we have a slope of 0, that's one of the special forms of a line. It looks a certain way. But let's go through our same steps for finding the equation of our line. So y minus our y value, which is 8, is equal to our slope, which is 0, times the quantity x minus our x value, which is -4. So we have y minus 8 is equal to 0 times the quantity x plus 4. But what happens when you multiply 0 times anything? It's just 0. So we end up with y minus 8 is equal to 0. And that would be our answer. That's as close to point-slope form as we can get. For part C, we want our equation that passes through these 2 points. So how is this one different from our previous problems? Well, the previous problems told us what the slope is equal to. So we need to first find our slope. So slope is change in y. So I'm going to have -6 minus 3 divided by the change in x. Need to start with the same point on the bottom. So 2 minus -1. In the numerator, we have -9 divided by 3 in the denominator, because that becomes 2 plus 1. So our slope looks like it's -3. So to get the equation of our line in point-slope form, we do y minus, and this is where you pick either of your points. It doesn't matter. We can arbitrarily pick our first ordered pair, x1, and make that our y1. So we would have y minus 3 is equal to our slope, -3, times x minus x sub 1, which is -1. So y minus -3 is equal to -3 times the quantity x plus 1. So that would be one possible answer for your equation to be in point slope form? Well, we have another point there. So in point slope form, we can have a different equation. Even though they're equivalent, they're going to look different. So we also could have done y minus -6 is equal to our slope, which is -3, times x minus 2. And this is using that second point as our x1, y1. So we end up with y plus 6 equals -3 times the quantity x minus 2. So this is equally correct. Now typically you're not going to be asked to give your equation in point slope form because, as this example illustrates, you can come up with multiple forms of an equation when they both represent the same line when you graph it. So you're going to be learning later about something called slope-intercept form, which is the more typical form of how we would want to give our line.